When's the last time you committed so relentlessly to anything that no one around you could remember who you were before? Because this Chinese man pretended to be crippled 24/7 just to make a fishbowl trick seem real. Meanwhile, you probably can't even commit to a normal bedtime. But that's the level of commitment Christopher Nolan's The Prestige demands of its characters. Hopefully you've already committed to watching this 2-hour movie before clicking on my video. You did have 20 years. Wait, this movie came out in the same year as She's the Man? What ups and downs cinephiles must endure. Anyway, that's all for me to say. I would normally recommend you watch The Prestige before you watch this video, but I want the views, and if you leave now, you'll hurt my retention. So do me a favor, click those like and subscribe buttons since you're still here, and let's jump into it. The Prestige tracks a brutal decade-long rivalry between two up-and-coming magicians, Robert Angier, played by Hugh Jackman, and Alfred Borden, played by Christian Bale. While these two men start as friends, tragedy strikes when Robert's wife dies during a trick. With blame falling on Alfred for the death, Robert then seeks revenge, setting off a tit-for-tat exchange that commits both men towards the goal of destroying the other. I'm going to jump back in time a little, as Christopher Nolan loves to do in his movies, going back before the hatred, back when they were still friends coming up together. They were instructed to figure out a trick being done by an old Chinese magician. Having been sent on this mission by Alfred, hold up, not that Alfred, wrong Nolan movie, having been sent on this mission by their manager, Cutter, played by Michael Caine, the pair is tasked to figure out how this crippled old man is making a large fishbowl appear. Robert is absolutely astonished by the trick. He is unable to comprehend how a man that looks so frail could pull it off. Yet Alfred sees right through to what the trick actually is. Alfred knows that the frailness is part of the trick. The act never stops. The show goes on. The Chinese man has an absolute commitment to his craft. But how could Alfred even figure this out? Because it takes someone with an equal commitment to a lie to spot one. And our hint to what this lie is comes from Alfred's wife, Sarah. She can always tell when his "I love you" isn't true, and we the viewer assume it's to do with his obsession with magic, that some days Alfred just loves the magic more than her. And as most of us know, living in this type of uncertainty in a relationship is untenable. So it took a toll on Sarah. She knew something was off. It ate away at her, until Sarah just couldn't take it anymore. Having broken down mentally from the deceit, she ends her own life in a place she thought she was competing with, Alfred's workshop. The tragedy of Sarah is that she was correct in knowing something was wrong. She just could never have known that she was married to two separate men. There was always Alfred, but there was also always his twin, Fallon. And only one meant it when they said, "I love you" to Sarah. These twins decided long ago to each live half a life, loving different women, but forced to pretend to love both. And by the end of the movie, they've hurt and lost everyone they cared about for the sake of their act. Also, they could pull off a trick that made it look like one man was teleporting 10 feet, committing so completely to their shared life that they removed matching fingers from Fallon after Alfred got his blown off. Now you may ask, how did Alfred lose those fingers in the first place? If you remember, this rivalry was set in motion when Alfred tied a knot on Robert's wife, Julia, during a water tank trick. Now, Alfred may or may not have tied the wrong knot. He's never able to say in the movie. And honestly, I don't even know which twin was on stage that night. Blinded by revenge, Robert commits to murder Alfred during a bullet catch act Alfred is performing. Robert is thwarted at the last moment by Fallon, saving Alfred's life but causing 2 of his fingers to be shot off instead, which meant Fallon had to chisel off his own matching fingers just to keep their shared life act secret. Thus truly began the war between these 3 men. And what always angered Robert was that Alfred was the better magician, even though Robert was the better showman. One may even say he was the greatest showman. So after years of back and forth attacks, Alfred debuts his transported man trick, and Robert could not figure out how Alfred was able to do this trick, thus leading Robert to his obsession of one-upping the trick himself. This mission would send him to the ends of the earth, Colorado, where he met the Goblin King and his assistant, Gollum. I mean, Nikola Tesla and his assistant, Allie. Robert believed that Tesla could make him a machine to teleport. He was already convinced Tesla had done it for Alfred, and while he was wrong about Alfred's trick, Tesla was able to make him a teleportation device. And this is where Robert finally commits himself fully to his act. Instead of just copying others, he was always a showman. But with his final commitment, the Robert we know never gets the applause he craves. Because the teleportation machine doesn't truly teleport, it just creates a clone a little distance away. Which means each night during his show, there are briefly 2 Roberts. and there can be only one. So each night, Robert makes a final commitment as he steps into Tesla's machine. The floor below him opens, plunging him down into water, drowning him. As he passes the applause to his clone, before that copy must do the same the next night. So although Robert was the last of these men to commit fully to his act, he was fully committed to his last act. Every night following the same death his beloved wife suffered. So whether it's a Chinese man pretending to be crippled all the time, twins each living half a life, or a man sacrificing it all each night, when you commit to something, there is always a cost.
Have you considered the cost?
I'm not sure I follow.
But what do I know? I've never seen The Prestige, but now I have.